Hello, everyone, and welcome back to America's favorite warbler. We have been trying to figure out which warbler is America's favorite, and we are down now to a final four. So, if you want to vote on the final four without hearing about what happened in the last matchups in the Elite Eight, you can go to the link in the description below. As always, share it around with everybody that you know so that we can get as many people voting as possible. If you do want to stick around and hear how the last round went down, you're in the right place because we're going to cover it and share some of our thoughts on what was a wild round, as have been all of the others. Derek, initial thoughts on the last round? Any feelings? Any emotions?
Oh, I have feelings.
And
I'm
emotions?
I have feelings and emotions. A lot of confusion because there's a particular warbler that I did not think would make it. Well, I guess, two of them that I didn't think would make it this far, but one far more surprising than the other to me.
So we have some upsets, is what you're saying.
I would say, yeah,
All right.
if it was up to me, I would say upsets.
All right, we'll get into it and then we'll go through each matchup, talk about what happened, maybe give a little reflection. Then we'll go over which our final four matchups are, and then we'll leave you to go vote. So let's start in the West. We have the Wilson's Warbler versus the Painted Red Start. And the Wilson's Warbler came out on top, 62.8 to 37.2. How do you feel about the disrespect for the Painted Red Start?
Baffling. I did not know people liked the Wilson's Warbler that much. I don't know if it's just because they're familiar with it or if there's just something I'm totally missing. But if I made a list of like the top 20 warblers, Wilson's I don't think would be in the top four for people. So I'm kind of surprised that it's been able to get this far with the matchups it's had, especially against such a cool warbler in the painted red start.
Yeah, I thought that the Painted Red Start was going to win, but it
That's
did
why we
not.
vote, though, I guess.
That's why you play the games. And then we'll move on to another one, which has been
Well, I will
kind of,
say before you get there, we had 14 people vote after we closed after our deadline. So we closed the forum the following morning. So we had 14 people vote after they were supposed to, but it didn't change any of the outcomes. So they're included in this. If it changed the outcomes, we would have taken them off, but it didn't change anything. So
all right.
as far as winner,
So vote
just
on
got to
time.
clarify.
If you
Yep,
want it to
vote
matter,
on
vote on
time.
time.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the other semifinal matchup in the West, which was the Yellow-rumped Warbler versus the Hermit Warbler. Yellow-rumped has been somewhat of a Cinderella in my mind. I know that they're quite popular, but I didn't know they'd be this popular to get to the final four because they moved on 70.6 to 29.4.
Yeah. Yellow-rumped warbler still cruising.
Yep. So now we're going to jump all the way to the bottom of the east side, actually. We're going to go Cape May Warbler versus Prothonotary Warbler. I know there's a lot of people in both camps on this one that explained why they liked one or the other, and Cape May ended up moving on to the next round, 67.6 to 32.4.
Yeah, Cape May is beautiful. Like males and breeding plumage, really beautiful warbler. Prothonotary, prothonotary, prothonotary.
Prothonotarily,
Ha-
it's a verb or it's an adjective, I guess.
Prothonotary has a lot of personality, so I felt like that one could have gone either way, honestly.
And it went the Cape May's direction. Speaking of one that could have gone either way, though, this to me was the matchup of the tournament so far. Cerulean Warbler versus Blackburnian Warbler. Probably my two favorite warblers personally. And the Blackburnian Warbler eked out a win 52.8 to 47.2. Blackburnian moves on to the semifinal. A real heavy hitting slugfest of a matchup.
Yeah, I think that was our one of our most competitive matchups. I'm actually surprised it was that close because it kind of ebbed and flowed with what the deficit was, but Blackburnian comes out on top.
Yeah, it ended up being quite close, which I think it should be. They're two great warblers,
Yeah,
but
before
in
we
the
get
end,
into
Blackburnian moved on.
talking about the matchups here, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I think it, wanted to mention we switched merch providers. So if you want to get some merch, we're now on Fourth Wall. You can go to badgerlandbirding-shop.fourthwall.com. We ordered some samples. They got here within a week, which is great, and the quality seemed really good. So we got some new stuff up here. There's a hummingbirds t-shirt. There's a bunch of different colors that these come into. Spoonbill stuff, some bird puns like life is rough with a rough on it. Some migration madness gear as well. There's a you're pissing me off t-shirt. So lots of stuff that you guys can check out if you're interested in getting some merch, including mugs, t-shirts, and sweatshirts. Just wanted to throw that out there. Puff and party. I love Love the look of that stuff. If you want to check out some merch, we have it available for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Good call on that, Derek. So with that, we're now going to get into what our final four matchups are. We're going to have the Wilson's Warbler versus the Yellow-rumped Warbler in the West.
Did
That's a
not see
matchup
that
I did
coming.
not expect.
No,
No, not at
not
all.
even.
So
Nope.
one of those two is going to be in the final versus the Blackburnian Warbler or the Cape May Warbler, which is a very colorful matchup with kind of the same color palette. So we have a lot of yellow in the final.
You think that's the same color palette? Cape May and
Kinda.
Blackburnian? I don't think so.
It's kind of close.
I think Cape May have yellow and then like that like magentish maroon and then Blackburnian orange and white.
I said kinda. I didn't say it's exact.
It's sunset colors, sunset
Yeah, they
warblers.
make a very beautiful sunset together. So that's what we've got. And do you have anything to add before we let the people go?
Um, I think splitting it up into East and West, we got it different than if it was just kind of all across the board. Because I feel like the West people weren't as familiar with those birds, and I felt like a lot of our heavy hitters were in the East. But I feel like we have some interesting matchups. The East one I feel like is really solid. The West, I have no idea how that one's gonna go. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. When do we want to give people to vote until?
Um, why don't we give them, what do you think? Maybe Saturday night?
Saturday night?
Saturday
Yeah, that
night?
sounds good. Make sure to vote on time too. So
Yes,
you
vote
so
on
until
time.
midnight Saturday night Central Time is when voting will end.
Yep. All right.
Cool. Well, this has been
Thanks.
fun. It's been interesting, and I'm glad people have been excited about it. Also, if you're interested in doing birding bingo for Migration Madness, we have that going on too. So remember to you can print your sheet out, see if you can get a bingo, at least one, see if you can fill out the whole card. We made the video about it if you want to learn more about how to do that. But that's fun. So make sure you're getting out there and participating in birding bingo.
Yep, absolutely. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on America's Favorite Warbler on Badgerland Birding.